Knitography Farm. I'm Patricia and I'm coming to you from the middle of Norway, just outside of the city of Trondheim, in the Vassfjella region of Norway, overlooking the Selbusjøen Lake. I'm sitting outside of my farm shop studio on a little bench that I like to sit on when it's mild and gray, and after I've done the morning chores, I like to just relax here with a cup of coffee, cool down, and just enjoy the morning. And that's what I'm doing. I really like the quiet. The birds are returning, and it's just the most peaceful way to start a busy day. It's been a long time since I have vlogged. I think it was this spring of 2019. And although I've been really active on Instagram and I've also started making some IGTV videos, I wanted to breathe a little bit of life into my YouTube channel again, especially for those of you that write to me and you're not active on Instagram. It was a little bit hard for me to come back to my YouTube channel. I haven't visited the channel since that time, because the last vlog that I made was of me presenting Milo, my little lamb, to you and to all of my Adopt a Sheep supporters. And just after that video, things took a really difficult turn, a really challenging turn. I lost a lot of my flock that I was trying to grow. I also was dealing with my daughter, as many of you know, who had an invasive surgery. I also left my job, so I work here now on the farm as a full-time shepherd, and just so many challenging and difficult decisions that I had to make. As the year progressed, things got even more challenging. I lost one of my original sheep, other personal challenges that I faced, and yeah. It's not important now. I don't want to bring that kind of negative energy into what I'm doing this year, but 2019 was not a very friendly year for me. I have a new perspective. I have taken some time to re-energize myself, and I spent a lot of time alone in the desert in the United States. And yeah, I've come home to Norway with, as I say, invigoration, and a lot of exciting things are happening now, and I'm looking forward to spring and hopefully growing my flock once again, just starting over to do that process. I lost the lambs because the kind of lambs that I take in, the kopplam, are the ones that are rejected from their mums, and they're already compromised. I also had a difficult situation with one of the vets. I've had to learn kind of the hard way that nature is going to decide this process. Although my heart and my emotions are fully into it from the moment we pick up the lamb, I realize that I'm not going to be in control of what happens, and I'm still very emotional about it. I'm still grieving for the loss of my one of my original 3 lambs. It was such a beautiful day as autumn was approaching, and we were up in the forest, and we took the longest walk that day because I was traveling to Oslo and then on to Rhinebeck. And so I spent a lot of extra time with the flock that day. Brakis, the lamb that I lost, he was over a year old, but still I considered them lambs. But he was just jolly. It was an unusual day, of course, in hindsight. He was jolly, he was active, he was being silly, he was very much wanting interaction. He was just kicking up his feet, and it's really all that I have to hold on to is that beautiful day. Because when I was in Oslo, things began to change. We don't know what happened. I've had people here on the farm after it happened to make sure that everything was okay with the farm, that we haven't made any mistakes or anything like that, and all is well. It's just one of those situations where, once again, nature decides. He was a very compromised lamb. We always had problems with him. He had issues with his knee. Yeah, there's a million reasons. We don't know. I'm only sad because, of course, his final fleece was not a part of my first solo farm yarns. He is a part of it in the first 2 clips, but he's not a part of it in the last clip. And so I'm a little bit sad about that, because I would love for us to have been able to, you know, incorporated his fleece into the very first farm yarn, because he was a part of it up until the final 3 weeks, because only 3 weeks later we sheared the sheep and the fleeces went to the mill. So that's really why I haven't been present on the vlog. It's a long story, and maybe people are just interested in the knitting, but I want to just start out by saying that I am a shepherd now full time. I'm a maker, I'm a knitter. There's going to be a lot in this vlog. It's not just going to be about me showing you my knitting. So there's a lot of podcasts out there and vlogs out there for that kind, but I'm a storyteller, and part of the stories that I have to tell, of course, is my own life. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in the stories of this region of Norway, but also, you know, how it influences my own life and my own little flock and myself as a shepherd that is growing and learning and, yeah, dealing with nature and natural things, then you're in the right place. I really am positive there are good days and bad days, because I miss Braki so much. I understood a little bit easier with the baby lambs, because the ones we took in, as I say, were extremely compromised, and I fell in love with them. I got several weeks with them before anything happened, but I still loved them so deeply, and I think it's so unfair that they didn't get the chance. But yeah, we had to say goodbye, and that's what we had to do. So I really am doing a lot better, and I'm not ashamed really to show the emotion of it, because shepherding and farming is hard work. It takes everything out of you, and you have to really grow a thick skin, and you have to really just enjoy every single day with your flock, especially when they are a heritage breed that is compromised, because it's really taken people all over this region of Norway to bring this breed of sheep back to prominence. I'm only dealing with the compromised lambs. I know there's going to be other challenges that I'm going to face in the future. I wanted to just tell you where I've been. Many of you know that it's not just my flock, but that I was dealing with Emma Grace, who had an invasive surgery, as I said, and she had that in the end of March, April, when all of this was happening, and there were complications with the surgery, and she did not start to walk on her own until the end of September and early October. So she's been walking now for several months. She will go back in March to see if everything is fine, and that the surgery that they did has healed enough that she's able to be active and participate in life as she would really like to do. I've made some difficult choices for her, and I've been here to support her every single day she's been on the farm. I had to choose my daughter in this situation and give her the care that she needed, and it was so totally worth it. She's doing so well, and we're just hoping for a really good response in March. It's 2020, and I'm really, really, really positive about the new year. I have so many amazing things going on. I have new energy. I have fresh designs. My little shop is beginning its 3rd year, and I'm so grateful for that. I've been into a lot of meetings lately to get feedback and encouragement about the work that I'm doing, looking for new support and ways to expand and keep things going. and as I say, grow my flock this spring. I was up to 8. I want to be up to 12 to 15, but as many of you know, I'm back down to 4, and that is so discouraging and difficult. But they are healthy and their fleeces are stunning. I still have beautiful feedback regarding my fleece. I'm holding on to that for dear life, just all of the feedback that I've had. So I am going to talk a little bit about knitting, try to pull myself together a little bit and talk about knitting. I want this to be authentic. I want it to be real, and I want you to understand the good things and the bad things. This is not just me showing you my knits and yarn and so forth like that. This is my farm. I want this to reflect the true nature of my farm and what I'm on about. I'm going to just try to start sharing the things that I have made, that I am doing, possibly in December a bit during the Christmas season, because that is really when I returned home and things began to, as you might say, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I could see things getting better and I felt better. I could handle things that had happened easier. I became more engaged in my knitting again. I've produced a lot of beautiful pieces lately. Before I kind of transition into my shop, I just wanted to start this off with a little chat. I want to tell you about this jumper that I have on. So this is my most recent finished object. This is the pheasant pullover. It's knit out of Roma Fino garn. I fell in love with this jumper when Savory Knitting, I have to apologize because I don't remember the designer's name. I just remember her brand. She's Savory Knitting on Instagram. I don't know what it is about it. It looks a little bit traditional, but I just love the yoke. I loved the colors that she had. She had these colors basically. I think her brown is a little bit darker than mine, and I wished mine was also a little bit darker. What I did was I joined Mars and Natalie's stash dive challenge. I have to be very frugal now that I don't have a full-time job. I just work here on the farm. That's my full-time job. So I have to be very frugal. So I dove into my stash and I participated in that challenge, which is a really fun challenge too, especially when you're knitting a yoke jumper, to go in and look at your leftover yarns and weigh it up and see really what you have and can it work for the pattern. I did my stash dive. I started knitting this and it just knit so quickly. Really like the colors. I said on Instagram that it's kind of retro and it gives me that kind of retro vibe, and I like that. I'm into that. I didn't modify anything within the jumper except that I went up a needle size in the yoke. And also on Instagram I tried to give some tips about what I do whenever I knit a yoke, because there's so many people that ask me about stranded knitting, especially mitten knitting, but I always go up a needle size so that my yoke sits so beautifully. And also I have to say, I have not blocked this jumper yet, which I know is super naughty, and I work with products that help you to block your knitted pieces. But one of the things that's brilliant about going up a needle size is you really can just pop it on for a while and enjoy it before you do your wool wash the first time. You can't really tell it. I haven't steamed it. I haven't done anything. Now, of course, the bottom needs a bit of blocking, and I'm sure that the yarn is going to bloom. So I am going to do that soon, but I've just been wearing it endlessly and enjoying it. I went up a needle size. I followed the measurements of the body, and it does sit right at my waist, right? It looks nice with the dress. But I have to say, maybe it should have been just a little bit longer, because I do find myself pulling it down. I think it must be my age. I'm not really into all these crop jumpers. It's an age thing maybe, but I'm trying to enjoy it. I made another crop sweater that I also find myself tugging at. But if I'm wearing a dress under this length of sweater, then it's not like that. But now I have a skirt on and I do find myself tugging at it a bit. The other thing that I did was I shortened the sleeve a bit. Now, it's cold out right now. It's below 0. I have like an insulating shirt on. But I shortened this because when I'm getting water or I'm mucking up or I'm working in the barn, my cup always gets wet. It'll get soaking wet, and then I have to take off the jumper and it's not comfortable. So I did modify the sleeves. They're a little bit shorter than down here where I like them. And I just wanted to try that out. I wanted to see, like, does that help my work on the farm? Or am I, yeah. How do I feel about that? I'm not sure. So far, so good. I haven't had any wet cuffs, and of course, I always have mittens when I'm out working, and I should have mittens on now because I'm getting a little bit cold. And as you see, my glasses are just getting darker and darker as the daylight comes. I have a neurological depth perception problem in my optical nerve, and I finally gotten glasses where I've got that under control, but I have to be very careful with light. So now I have glasses that when I'm inside they're completely clear, and when I'm outside they get darker and darker as I need it. So I apologize for that. I know people aren't really that interested in seeing somebody that has sunglasses on the whole vlog. But I'm going to go up into the studio now and share some things with you, some more knitting and some things I'm getting ready for natural dyeing in the spring. And hopefully this afternoon I'll get to sit up on the bucket and talk to the sheep. So I'll be right back, and I'll transition up into my studio.